Welcome back to a new one, and today we are talking about editing images with Nano Banana and Flow. This is a straightforward, direct guide. I'm not going to diverge or get sidetracked. I'm just going to show you how to edit the images and how to use the tools. I've got this image of this woman reading a book and drinking a coffee. Or tea, I don't know. What I want to do, I want to run some edits on this image. Whenever you want to run edits, you just need to click on the image and now you have the big size, and right here you can run whatever edits. You can run it with the prompt, and at the left side of the screen you have the editing tools. We will talk about this ones in a minute. The main way of editing images is by prompting. Nano Banana is a reasoning type of model, so you can just ask what you want and it should understand. Just to give you an example, I could go to the prompt and say change the color of the coffee cup to white. We know it's a bluish type of cup of coffee, so Nano Banana will read the image, assume that this is the coffee cup, and it will change it. Let's run it and see if it's getting it. Once we get back, we can see that Nano Banana understood the task and it's replacing the coffee cup with a white coffee cup. Nano Banana is just really good at this. Still, this is a very simple edit. We can just push it a little bit more. I will go to the original and I'm gonna go right here. And today Nano Banana is suffering a little bit. Maybe there's high demand, so sometimes I'm going to be getting some errors and I will need to run it again. But on this occasion, I'm just asking to change the whole thing, not the subject, but everything that surrounds the subject. I'm asking to change the sweater for a red shirt, replace the background for 1950s, and I'm asking Nano Banana to keep the woman's identity and pose exactly the same. So I'm just changing everything else. Once we get it back, we can see it understood the task. We are getting the same woman, same pose, and it's just changing the whole setting. We get that 1950s. Even though it looks a little bit unrealistic, it looks pretty good. Sometimes when you prompt for something and you're just not getting it, try to change the keywords or change the prompt a little bit and keep running it until you get what you want. Right here, you lose when you quit, when you stop trying. As you make edits, at the right side of the screen, you will see the history. And with this button, of course, you can hide all the changes, but then you can select the different changes, and whatever is that you select is what it will show on the main panel. I mean, on the main dashboard. So if I go back and I select the original one and then click on done, that one is the one that will show. But maybe I also want this generation as well. What you need to do is to go right here and click on Save to Project. It will create a copy of this. Now I will select the original one. If I click on done and I go back, we have the original one and the edited one. A thing that you need to remember is that when you go to the edit one, you don't have the history. You only have that on the original image. This is like the main method, prompting what you want, and that's it. Then at the left side of the screen, you have more options. You have the crop tool, you have the box selection and the lasso, and then you have the doodle. Let's talk about the doodle first. And this is just a doodle. You can go right here and just draw something. If you don't want it, you just can go back and undo what you did. Or if you make several doodles, instead of just clicking once or undo, you just click redo and it will clear all the doodles. The whole point of this is to draw something or doodle something and have Nano Banana create what you want. For example, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to select the book the woman is just reading, and to make sure that Nano Banana understands this, I'm going to paint the doodle. Now, if you see this as a human, you know that I'm pointing at the book. Again, Nano Banana reasons. If I put something on the prompt, it will know I'm talking about the book. For instance, a gray tablet. Nano Banana should take the book and replace it with the tablet. When we get it, we can see it understood and it's replacing the book with a gray tablet, right? So we are getting what we wanted. So yeah, the drawing on the screen, it's a way of letting Nano Banana know what we want to do. If you like how I teach, leave a like, but also if you want for me to cover a different function or part of Google Flow, let me know down in the comments. I'm going to go to the main generation and start with a clean history so we don't have a lot of things floating around at the right side of the screen. I'm going to go to the doodle and we can, of course, select things, but we can also draw something and let Nano Banana know that we want to draw something very specific. I could do something like this, and I'm gonna try to do my best to draw a face and just a person. All right, so that's my drawing. The point is that we want to let Nano Banana know that we want a person standing right here. Instead of drawing a person, I could just maybe select the whole area and that's it, but this is just what we want. So now we go to the prompt and I could say a person, and it's always good if you provide a little bit more information. I'm going to say a person standing at the back. I'm going to run the generation. Nano Banana should see the drawing or the doodle and allocate the person on that very specific spot. we get it back, and we can see it understood that we want a person standing at the back. But the important part right here is that it's assigning the person where we want to. The person could be right here at the back, or maybe it would understand that we want to change the person right at the back. But no, it's just reading the doodle and assigning the person on that spot. Still, with the scribble or doodle, you can do whatever you want. Maybe you can just, let's say they draw a hat and then just prompt for a hat, of course. Then you have the other option, which is a variation of the same tool. But on this one, we just need to drag and select what we want. Just like with the doodle, with the box, we can select something, point to something, and ask Nano Banana to change it. For example, I'm going to go back to the original. I'm going to select the cup of coffee, and I'm going to ask Nano Banana to replace the coffee cup for a bottle of water. And notice I'm not saying replace the coffee cup with the bottle of water. If you do that, it's actually better because you're providing more information to Nano Banana. But just pointing to the coffee cup and saying that you want something else, it will understand. I'm going to run the generation. We get it back, and we get the bottle of water. So yeah, the doodle and the box are just used to point Nano Banana what we want to change or what we want to inpaint. A very good example of this, I will go back to the original, is that let's say that I want to replace the window that we have at the back. I will go right here and select mostly the window. I will go at the bottom, and I'm saying that I want to replace the window with a wall. Again, we are letting Nano Banana know we want to change the window. And this is important because I am selecting part of the couch and part of the woman. If we don't specify the change, Nano Banana can get a little bit confused and maybe change the subject, which is something that, of course, we don't want. When we get it back, we don't have a window, now we have a wall. What it's not natural is the lighting of the subject. So it's, of course, keeping the subject intact, but it's not fixing the highlighting of the subject that we get from the natural light of the window. I'm going to go back to the original one, and then you have annotations. If I go right here and select this one, with this one, what we can do, we can write something on the actual image. Then Nano Banana will read that message and run the edits. Just to give you an example, I will go right here, select the face of the woman, then select the annotations, and I'm going to go a little bit up and go right here. My annotation is she is looking at the camera. Also, what you can do, just to let Nano Banana know that this is your change, you can just draw an arrow. And all of this just makes it super obvious to Nano Banana that you want to change the face and she needs to look at the camera. Now, the cool thing about this method is that you can select multiple things and create multiple annotations. To give you an example, I will select the coffee cup and my annotation will be remove the cup, and then just create an arrow to make it a little bit more obvious. So she needs to look at the camera and we need to remove the coffee cup. If you go to the prompt and say she needs to look at the camera and remove the coffee cup, this is a pretty simple task. It will do it regardless of the annotations. When you want Nano Banana to read the annotations and follow the instructions, you need to go to the prompt and say follow edit instructions on annotations. This will guarantee you that Nano Banana will read the messages and run the edits. When we get it back, we can confirm that Nano Banana understood the annotations and we are getting back what we wanted. So this is the second way, doodling the box and annotations. The other method that you get is the box and the lasso. And right here is just the same idea. We use the box to select something. Let's say I want to select the coffee cup. And I'm going to say remove the cup. You cannot select multiple things at once, just like we do with the other tool. With this one, you just select one tiny little thing. We get it back and we can see it removed the cup, but also it's just removing up a couple more things. If that is not what you want, of course, you just need to go back and rerun the prompt. So this is the box selection. In my opinion, the box selection, it's really useful when you want to remove things. If I want to inpaint or add something, I would go, of course, to the other tool. Within the same, you have the lasso tool. And this is the same as the box. The only difference is that instead of creating a box, we just need to, let's say, select or highlight what we want to select. And this is just a more, let's say, precise way of selecting something. And just like with the box selection, you can only do one at once. Let's say I want to select the head of the woman. So we just need to go right here and do the selection. The purpose or what you can do with it is the same as the box selection. Also, with this new interface of Flow, you get the crop tool. Once you click on it, you can select landscape. You can just crop it to portrait, which you can do square, which is something new that you have on Google Flow. You can do multiple ratios or different ratios, or you just can freeform. Freeform, it means that you can just select this portion. Let's say I want the coffee cup. Once you crop it, it will assign it to the history. And notice that you have an icon right here. Nonetheless, you can really tell that this was cropped from this generation because the quality is just not that good. We can download this image and try to enhance it by scaling it. But really, if you want to do that, what you can do on the edit while the cropped version is selected, you could say something like enhance image and make sure that you have the cropped version selected. This is still going now. When we get it, we will not get a super equal version to what we had on the original. This is still Gen AI. It will inpaint and add a few things, but for the most part, it will be super similar. Once we get it back, we can confirm that we have the enhanced version of the generation. If I go to this one looks like crap, but this one, it's just much better. What is the point of cropping? Well, let's say that we have this image and I want to add several things as an ingredients, or I want to save them so I can use them on different generations. Well, this is the point. Now I have this coffee cup. I can just save it to the project and then go back to the main dashboard. And every time I want to do something else, I can just drop this coffee cup and then use it as an ingredient. So it is not only a tool where you use it to change the ratio or maybe just crop and enhance. You can crop something to use it as an ingredient. And that's pretty much it. You can prompt your changes, select something, then prompt to change that selection. You can do annotations, box selection, and you can crop. Now there's one more thing that other editors give you that you don't see right here. It's the extension or outpaint function. For example, let's say I want to outpaint what we have on this image. I want to see a little bit more of the bar, a little bit more of the window, a little bit more of the ceiling. The way to do so, it's just very conversational. You go to the actual prompt and you say outpaint the image from all sides. I'm gonna run this generation. If you don't know what outpainting is, don't worry, you will see it right now. Once we get it back, we can see it imagined or outpainted everything that we had on the sides. If I compare the outpaint version with the original version, this is what outpainting is. We just extend the image. All right, so if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Don't be a stranger.